Hello and thanks for joining me for your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 10th of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'll give you a broad overview before, please stay with me, I will dive deep and go into each individual zodiac sign to give you in forensic detail what you can expect for the next 7 days. Now, if you are new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Now, this week begins with an event which actually happened late last week, still very much to the fore, and that's a quarter moon between the Sun and the Moon. The Moon on Sunday was in the sign of Aries, the Sun in the sign of Capricorn. Aries is the first house, the first zodiac sign. It's very much to do with action and energy and impulse. And the moon in this location can be quite restless, whereas the Sun in the sign of Capricorn is much more about how the established order works. So if we want to try something a bit more individual this week, we have to be mindful of how it will be received. Now, also this week, from Monday through to Wednesday, the Sun is forging a beautiful link with Neptune. If you are someone who has a strong compassion for those who are less fortunate, this is really going to emphasize that part of your nature. This could see you making a donation to a good cause, or perhaps doing something just in a practical way. You know, keeping an eye on an elderly neighbour, or perhaps if someone's got COVID, going and doing a bit of shopping for them, putting it on their doorstep just to give them some assistance. The Sun in the sign of Capricorn can be about status and more material gains. Neptune in Pisces is much more spiritual. So it's like trying to find a union between the two when they're in this sextile. But in the second half of this week, the Sun comes in to a conjunction with Pluto. Now, by Sunday, this becomes absolutely exact. This is very much to do with transformations. Pluto is the planet of change, but it can also be the planet of endings. So if there's something in our situation that needs to make way, then this particular influence is going to call out to us. Now, it could be an old lifestyle approach. It may be a job that we're not enjoying very much. Perhaps it is that relationship which has seen better days and been bumping along the bottom. But that transformation that can go on between the Sun and Pluto can also be within ourselves. So we can change and our relationship to situations alter quite deeply. Now, of course, on Friday, Mercury finally goes into its retrograde. It's actually been in its pre-shadow period since the last 3 days of last year. So if something has been meandering along and not quite gaining the traction that you've been hoping for, this could explain it. But also this week, Mars is in an aggravating angle with Neptune. So Mars is very much about passion, action, desire. Neptune can dissolve, so sometimes our motives can be a bit unclear when these two are not communicating clearly. So with Mercury also in a retrograde in the sector of friendships and group associations and how we connect to others, I think it's going to be important if something or somebody seems a little bit different or not quite clear in where they're coming from, not to jump to a conclusion, because the potential for confusion is definitely there later in this week. But if we can stay clear-minded and clear in our actions, some kind of change can happen in our situations which actually can be very positive, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time, which often can be the case with Pluto. Now, before I go on to tell you about each of the 12 zodiac signs, year 2022 is with us. If you want to order your forecast and get my special package of your character analysis as well, from the time of the order, I will give you 12 full months plus 30% off. But all this is based on your unique birth data, not just your sun sign, and can give you searing insights of what you can expect in the months ahead, and also discover what makes you tick at a much deeper level. Please see the link beneath this video. Hello Libra, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 10th of January. Over the last few years, Pluto has been such a massive influence in your situation. If you've tuned in before, you'll know that I've shared this. I have a Libra ascendant at 23 degrees, very much part of my journey too. The Sun's combination with Pluto this week is going to help you and I to see how far we've come in terms of setting our boundaries. Libran people can really go out of their way to be very supportive to others, and that's a great gift. But there is a tipping point, and that tipping point has really become so much more obvious in recent times, sometimes in quite painful ways. But the great thing about the Sun's combination with Pluto is, yes, you can see how far you've come, but also it's going to help you to see that you are now creating the fabric, the foundation of your emotional framework that's going to take you forwards for a long time to come. So the combination between the Sun and Pluto can be exciting. There's no question about that. Now, of course, Mercury is going retrograde in your sector of sociability. And in this sector, there is the stern energies of Saturn. So that's kind of a little bit of a counterpoint, if you like, to the transformational energies in the deep and feeling part of your nature, where you may want to be more social or interactive with others. There could be a little bit of inhibition that creeps in this week. But with the Sun forging a quite magnificent link to Neptune, if there is somebody that you do want to assist, that you feel that is a worthy cause, or through your work, the type of personality you have is that you do like to assist people, you can do so in a joyful way. What's more challenging is Mars's square with Neptune, which could be quite draining if you get caught up in listening to too much information, which is not really good for your soul. So your boundaries can definitely be about what you agree to do and give, but also what you take in terms of the energies around you or the information. So keep a little bit of a barrier there around that as well, and that will help you a lot to focus on what's really important, which is your inner journey and changes.